He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up the darkest rainy day. He's funny and loves movies, he's smart and he's a Jew. He's an actor and an activist and wants to hear from you.
Early time said.
Hey everybody, welcome to Absolute Jason Stuart. I'm here and my mic is like acting a little weird today. I guess that's fine. We're here with Rick Najera, writer, producer, actor, director, novelist, Politico. We've known each other for a very long time, and honestly, I've always wanted to work with you.
Oh, I've always wanted to work with
I
you.
really have. I'm so sad that we never have. And I've just always been such a fan of your work, and I feel a simpatico with you because as a Jewish gay guy, and you as a Latino male, I guess, in this business, also being over a certain age.
Yeah.
You know, that's the new thing that we have to deal with.
Well, there's ageism, which is always fun.
I like the way you say that because you say it like, yeah, fuck yeah. You know.
Well, it doesn't really bother me. It's I look at it this way.
It does bother me, I have to say, because I thought, Jesus Christ, I've had to deal with being gay for my whole career, and everybody's issues with it, and they're not issues with it. And now I have to deal with being over 40.
Well,
oh my God.
I think that the roles are better over 40 half the time.
It's not even that. That's not the issue.
Oh, you're going against guys that have been in their career.
Well,
for many years.
you know, who's interviewing who? But you know, the fact that I'm in The Birth of a Nation right now, playing a plantation owner, a heterosexual one, and everybody can go see that in the theaters right now.
Right now, yes.
Birth of a Nation. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. I want to. I'm just preparing myself for amazing pain and anguish when I see it.
Well, I can't believe that you have come to this without have seen it. I want to make sure my phone is off. I can't believe that you've come to my show and not seen my movie. But that's okay.
I know your work. I know your work is great.
You don't.
But I'm going to see. I promise I'm going to see the movie. I'm going to definitely see the movie.
See it soon. Don't wait. Everybody was same thing with 12 years of Slave. People waited.
Well, you know what it is. I think people know, unless you're a big plantation slavery fan, they're going to rush to this film. Most people know this is going to be a brutal film to watch.
It's not so brutal as it is inspiring, I think.
Good.
And the reason it's inspiring is because it's about standing up on who you are with these incredibly difficult circumstances. And there's a bit of a love story in the film, too.
Well, plus, also, I think we're still fighting the Civil War.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, aren't we in America? I mean, this whole Trump thing and everything else.
But it isn't just the Civil War. I mean, it went from Mexican rapists to Muslims who we don't care about, to women now, to repealing this and building a wall and taking away that, and these people are this, and I mean, people have been interviewed, Trumpites as I call them, have been interviewed all over television saying things like, oh, these people, them.
Those people.
Yeah, and that means everybody but white people, basically. And let's make America great again. Let's go back to when you and I were standing in line and waiting our turn, and now we're still standing in line and waiting our turn.
Yeah, but, you know, we thought there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and things were getting better, you know, with Obama coming in and all these different things. And I think what we realize is whenever there is, you know, civil rights in this country and people recognizing progressiveness and things like that, there's a pushback. And this was happening now. Trump is the pushback.
Well, what it is things are better, and they want to make us have a bad time with our
those
with
times
our
were
stuff.
great. It's like if you're a plantation owner, I saw Gone with the Wind. It looked great if you're Scarlett O'Hara. You know, right before the war. I mean, that looked fun. Mammy was so nice and everyone was happy and people knew about birthing babies. It was great. It wasn't Birth of a Nation, it was birthing babies. But then it's like, look, here's a reality.
Well, it made it sort of pretty.
And
and they
it
were
sure
sort
did.
of happy.
Yeah.
And the mammy had no life other than helping this woman.
No, and that's the funny thing is the people that are behind Trump probably look and go, oh, slavery is full employment. That's what it was. It was okay. Everyone had a job. What are we complaining about?
But there is that concept that it was about financial. And because of the color of your skin, you would be put in an order, and also your ability to look a certain way. You know, there was the brown paper bag test, all
that stuff, and it's just a system that is built to stop people from achieving their greatest human potential.
That's what kills me.
Yeah,
that's what really kills me, and that's what I think is. You know, I'm in this movie, and I'm learning, and I'm reading, and I'm really putting myself in the shoes of Black Americans. In my mind, because I think that's what this movie is about. So I'm saying, where do I sit with that? And it just sort of sickens me.
Well, the way I
What's
look
happening now. It really does, because it's happening to our children mostly. And I say children because most people that are murdered by the police that are black are young black and brown men, usually under the age of 30.
Yeah, stopping our
average.
potential.
And there are some women and there are some people over, but it's mostly those people. And as a parent, you must be just...
Yeah, unfortunately, it is
You
apparent.
have three children, right?
I have 3 children, and as weird as it sounds, I'm Mexican, and I see it so much as a socioeconomic thing. It's like when I drive my Mercedes, no one ever pulls me over. I remember years ago when I wasn't driving a Mercedes, I would get pulled over or stopped. Even 110 miles at the border checkpoint inside America. There's a border checkpoint, San Clemente border checkpoint. I would get stopped.
Yes.
And they would stop me and they'd punch on the back of my trunk. And
What kind of car did you have?
I had like a Nova, which is not.
I thought you were going to say I had a Chevy and it was like hopped up in the back.
It was a Nova, which
I just wondered why they were stopping. I just wondered.
No, this one said "Don't go." It's Nova in Spanish. It's no, it won't go. And I had it, and I remember, it was a Nova. That's what it means.
Nice economy.
That's why it didn't sell well in Latin America. They were going, you want to buy a car called "Don't Go," so no way. So what happened is they would stop me, and I started realizing, wait a minute, I'm fulfilling their stereotype, what a Mexican is. I'm the Mexican guy in the Nova. It's an old car driving up there. Of course they're going to stop me. But here I'm a Mercedes guy driving up there, and I had 3 undocumented maids in the back of my trunk. I'm joking about that. But the whole point was I would stop that guy. And that's the thing. They're stopping the people that they racially profile. And it's endemic. It's not so much that...
It does make sense, but it's so wrong.
It makes sense because it's so wrong. But at the same time, you're looking at it and going, yeah, if I stop young black males, I might find some marijuana in a few of them. And I could sit and say...
Well, some white males, too.
And white males, too. But I'm not stopping those white males.
No.
That becomes the problem. So that's why you look and go... And a lot of our laws, I can go back to it and look at it and say there are laws that are put there to hurt people, certain groups of people, no matter what. I mean, look at the whole thing with the cocaine and crack epidemic that happened. It was like crack.
Especially crack.
Yeah, if you dealt crack, you're from the ghetto and you're bad. We're going to send you away for prison for a long time. If you did cocaine, then you're a Wall Street banker and you really need to get help, and we're okay with that. We're going to sing Kumbaya to you and get you better. That's the stuff that I look at and I go, it's ridiculous, irrelevant, and once again stops.
Well, you
human
look at the
potential.
Wells Fargo thing. This white guy who was making
Millions.
even close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he quits, and he still gets to keep all this money.
Yeah, look what you say. If you steal,
How does this work?
If you steal a little, you're a thief. If you steal a lot, you're a king, and it kind of works that way. There's not a single Wall Street guy went to.
But
went to prison.
Elizabeth Warren said it right there in front of everybody in America, on television, played over and over, and still he was allowed to do this. How does this work? I'm not smart enough to figure it out, other than they don't care, and we don't do anything about it.
Well, if you lawyer up with enough lawyers and do these things, there is a certain justice that other people don't get, and that's the truth.
But why is, even though I love Elizabeth Warren, I love her to death, why is she not doing anything about this?
Well, they'll try. I mean, I think what's happening.
She is trying.
We had a very much. That's why when I hear Trump say stuff like rigged election, which is so dangerous to say, a billion.
We have no history of
votes. There's been 31 documented cases of someone trying to get putting his name on the ballot or whatever. Like
since the 1800s, right?
In modern political history, I think the term was, they did like 1 billion votes. They did a whole study. It was, I think Loyola Marymount did it. And they found out maybe 31 instances. 31,
from what year?
Of just throughout the years of how long they did it. It's the same instances when they sat there and said people on welfare had to get drug tests. Guess what? They found maybe one person on welfare that had drugs at all in them. That was it. It was nothing. It's all the stuff that we keep putting up and the lies we keep telling.
One person on.
It was something that was tiny. It was like they should have checked me.
So they knew better not to. People would know better if they're going to go in not to be on drugs.
Well, let's add another thing. You're unemployed and maybe you smoke marijuana, and we're gonna punish you even more because the whole thought is you're this
or a glass of wine.
Yeah, lazy entitled person taking money from the government, which is not true. But they're not upset at the lazy entitled corporations taking millions of dollars off the government. So if you steal a little, you're a thief. You steal big, you're a king. And it kind of works the same way. So yeah, I
So as an artist, because when I think of you, I think of your book, Almost White.
Almost White, Forced Confessions.
Your Broadway show, book, everything, Latino Logs.
Yeah.
The writer, on In Living Color, which was, or Robert Townsend's show, Townsend Television. Yeah. Or I'd say probably, am I wrong to say, 85% of the things that you have done have Latin somewhere in the title or in the work.
It's a great deal of it. Actually, it's mostly
black.
African American or Latino. That's
So, but isn't that say something? Though we want to tell our own stories, and you've had a wealth of doing that, but you've also, God damn, I mean, you've really stepped up to the plate and said, I'm taking care of my family, I'm going to do whatever I can, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to do a show, I'm going to do a TV show, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And you've created this, you're an entrepreneur of all sorts.
I didn't mean to be.
Yeah, I know.
It was like, I'm sure
Well,
you're
when
the
those
same way.
three kids sat there and Dad said, I want, I want.
You got it, but you know something? It's typical of what people don't see about Latinos in this country. We're the hardest working people. We work for our families.
We
love
all
our
do.
families.
Come on, look at the
No,
Jews.
I'm not saying that. Yeah,
Look at my people.
I was just in Israel.
Look at the gays.
I was in Israel, great place. They were very, and
But
gays,
the point of that is, there is a large amount of minority people that have come to this country, whether it be Jews or Asians or Indians.
They came here
Asian
for positive
Pacific.
reasons.
They came here because they're not afraid to work hard, and they're not afraid to do that, as we have our people who don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what's really getting to me so much in this time of getting to be post-Obama is that this guy got in office. We worked so hard to get somebody who is biracial,
Yeah.
which says something also at the same
Yeah,
time.
instead of being embraced by a great part of this country, a lot of it was.
And us as artists, the doors opened in a lot of ways, and then all of a sudden we're being slapped down because
it
we've
looks like
asked too much. We've eaten too much of the pie.
No, it looks like we're winning. It looks like we're winning.
This doesn't look like we are.
Yeah, we are. But the whole point is that's the terrifying thing to people in power. They look at it and they go, oh, Lord, help us. We got the gays. We got the Latinos, the people.
Right. The fact that we 2 years ago got the right to get married was like, geez, Louise. People like.
Yeah.
I mean, then this thing pops up for transgenders about a bathroom, and this becomes this incredible issue.
The biggest issue around.
Which is.
I've never, we are majoring in the minors as a country. What we're doing, we're seeing, and not all of the country, but a part of the country, is looking at things that are small and building up to be huge. And that's what's wrong. And
but how does it make you feel, though, as an artist, is where you are in what you want to accomplish at your age?
I think the greatest part of this country has been, and this is something that I've really thought about, is our fight against prejudice, our fight for equality, our fight for basic rights. That's what our country's about. Now, we've had a great deal of prejudice in this country, and we were founded pretty much on look at drugs, tobacco, and all certain things like that. But in spite of all that, and with our history of slavery and taking land from Mexico and thousands of things and the Native Americans, we're still a great country that wants better, and wants better for a lot of people. I think during the darkest times, during the civil rights movement, I think of guys, President Johnson and Kennedy and people like that. When you hear their speeches, you're surprisingly open and hoping for a better world. And I think even just Reagan and Bush, I heard their speech years ago when how glowingly they talked about Latinos and Mexican Americans in this country and what we brought. And now look at it. You've got the presidential candidate actually saying that we are rapists, murderers, and drug lords.
Let's be really specific. Because people say that I want to be even more specific. He said, you are bringing us all of your rapists and murderers.
The worst of Mexico.
So not even the worst. So what you're doing is you're saying that we're only bringing that.
Yeah.
So it is the worst, yes, but we're saying those are the people that you're sending over. That's what you're doing to us.
Yeah.
That's what he specifically said.
You're hurting our
is that
country.
you are bringing those people in. So he doesn't even understand. If you read what's going on right now, he doesn't even understand that the gang started here and moved to Mexico. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, no.
The major Mexican gangs came
from
from us and went back there. So we created these gangs.
We created a need. I mean, if the truth is there's a need in this country, that we have a real problem with drugs. There's a need for drugs in this country. People love drugs.
It's because people are depressed and want to check out.
Yeah, people are depressed. They want to get high. Instead of treating drugs as a criminal offense, and to really treat it as a medical problem, we would be so much better off. And what it's done is when we started putting these mandatory laws over drugs and how we had a war on drugs, became a war on the African American and the Latino community. And that's what's wrong.
And that's what I really hate, because he brings that back to Hillary by them saying there was a term that she used in the 90s.
Predators.
Predators.
Yeah.
What she was saying is that we have created these people. I think that's what she was trying to say. We have created these people. I don't think she was saying black and Latinos
I've
specific, because they have a history of wanting to help. So I think he said we have created. I think the context of what she was saying was not really.
It's amazing how.
Don't you think so? Am I wrong?
I was a total Bernie fan. Still
So
a
was I.
Bernie fan. But I look at Hillary and I looked at a lot of the words that she said. I looked deeply into the words, and I found out half the time it was nothing what was said in the media.
Well,
it was all blown out of proportion.
I don't see her as somebody who has not been an advocate of minorities, women, children. I don't see that.
Yeah, of course.
So even when she said predators, I don't see that as what she was trying to say. And then she's apologizing.
She was talking. What she was talking about, and what a lot of people were talking about, is truly in a lot of people's minds, not just in Hillary, was a small segment within communities that were predators on that community. And
I think
exists.
she would have admitted to the predators being white also.
Exactly.
Let's take a break. We're going to be back here with my friend, the artist. I'll call you the artist.
Thank you.
Rick Najera. We'll be back in just a second. Please don't change that channel. Oh, my God, we don't have channels. Jason Stuart here for Zinna TV on the show Absolutely Jason Stuart every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Big guests. It's everyone from the gayest to gay to the straightest to straight. David, what was his name?
He's absolutely Jason. He's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up.
And grew legs and they started walking, and the apes climbed down from the tree.
Did you know that 67% of American women are size 14 and above?
You mean they look like this?
Yeah, girl.
So then where are we in television and film?
And where are we in fashion magazines and clothing stores?
Yeah.
So we want to help out entertainment and fashion and media.
Catch the F up.
Watch us on Plus This
Live
every Thursday
at 7 p.m.
on Zinna TV.
I start. Hi, I'm Moxie.
And I'm Nicole, and we're the ladies of Suicide Girls Radio, the world's leading BYOB radio show. Pour a glass of your favorite tipple and tune in on Wednesday nights between 8 and 9 p.m. as we discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of free nipples. Oh, just flash it would be kind of funny, wouldn't it? People think flashing your tits is easy, right? And it's actually kind of hard.
Hey, we're back at Absolutely Jason Stuart with my friend Rick Najera, who I'm just dying to work with. I mean it. I really am. I'm just in the sense in my life. I just sent a letter to Jane Anderson. Forgive me, Jane Anderson, who was one of my favorite all-time writers, who wrote Olive Kittredge last year, and I heard she was doing a thing called The Wife, and I just reach out to people, and people go, "Oh, it's not that. What it is that I want to work with these people that who I've loved your work for so long. I love what you're trying to say, and I think you have not done your best work yet."
No, I think you're right.
I think
a lot of it was me fighting against the system. A lot of people are always fighting against. It's not that I fight against the system. I just think that it's what I said. It's human potential. I feel we're losing untold billions, trillions of money because we're holding back human potential. It's like that's why doing the CBS Diversity Showcase, it's giving people
Which
a
you're winning
chance.
an award for from SAG-AFTRA. It's
Yeah.
giving you a diversity award. Is that going to be at the when they give the big award to I think it's Shirley MacLaine who's getting a lifetime achievement.
I'll probably get a small award.
But I mean, they have an award
Well,
ceremony.
yeah, what they do is they want to do it's a discussion on a lot of different things, but they wanted a discussion November 1st at the SAG building to honor me and have a discussion about my work in diversity. The issue of diversity.
It's November 1st.
November 1st, you got to come. It's going to be a very cool event. I was surprised. I'll give an interview by the Wall Street Journal on stage, and I'll do some of my humor.
Well, wait, for people who don't know, you do a diversity showcase that brings people that are diverse, actors,
Yeah, and LGBTQ.
Actors, comedians,
Yeah.
singers.
Kate McKenna came from
Kate
the show.
McKenna.
Tiffany Haddish, Randall Park, who's on Fresh Off the Boat. It goes Afion Crockett, Wiley Senek. It keeps going on and on and on. So we've had 65 series regulars have come on the show, and this show is a great show to see. It's live, and it happens for Hollywood, and so every executive comes to it. And I've been directing it for 11 years, and CBS gave me another contract for another 3, so I'll be doing it for some time. After this show, I go to direct. I go to CBS. So it's a master class on writing, acting, and everything, and I teach
But
it
the
all.
thing that I always find odd about it is they want it to be funny, and a lot of these
Yeah.
people that have gotten in there are not funny.
No, I'm a big part of helping make them funny.
But why does it have to be funny always?
I think in a lot of ways it's for people to see a comedy show. I mean, it's hard to ask someone to watch a drama. If you're
See,
on,
I don't think so. I like drama.
no, you like drama. True.
Yeah, and
But-
I don't think there's got to be some people like me.
Well, there are people like you, and we've started a drama program. So
Oh,
we'll
you have?
Yeah.
Because I think it's important. I think it's the other half. And drama is so big now.
Yeah, but the problem is years ago, most of the stories you saw about people of color were dramas. I mean, if you think about it, it was like...
Oh, so there was a political angle
Yeah,
to
so it
it.
was like all of a sudden,
Okay.
everything about a Latino was, please, sir, help me, and African Americans, it was the same sort of thing. So I wanted this more of a positive show. Comedy, as you know, because you're a comedian, it's an intelligent man or woman's game. And so I wanted to show Latinos and African Americans and LGBTQ as people that thought comedically.
So what's the process when you audition people? You want them to do comedy characters, right?
Yeah, we'll have them do like 4 or 5 characters.
Why? No, why that? Why not? Because some of them will just be playing themselves. Sometimes, you think of some of the great. Lucille Ball was not a character comedian.
No, but Lucille Ball was a caricature of herself. That wasn't,
Oh, I don't think it was anything like her, probably.
No, nothing like her. I mean,
Gary, get me my clutch.
Yeah, it was all that sort
She was
of-
a completely different person.
Yeah, it was like, Ricky Ricardo. Hey, Baba. I mean, the guy was a fantastic producer. So you have one area.
And a womanizer.
Yes, of course.
Which I loved, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And which really was sort of interesting because I think that had all to do with him coming to this country and what he had been through and needing this kind of,
Validation and love.
validation constantly
Yeah.
of who he was because it went one of the greatest love stories ever.
Oh, it's the
that I-
last words he said to Lucy was, I love you, and she was, I know, I love you, I love you. That was it.
Before he
that way.
died?
Yeah.
He
was on the
loved
phone
her
with
forever?
He kept saying, I love you. and
Well,
she kept saying, "I
apparently
love
what
you
I'd
too."
heard from a lot of people is they never stopped talking.
Never.
Even through the marriages, and they both had different.
Yeah.
He was married to a woman named Edith something, and she was married to Gary.
They were soulmates. It was such a tragic and romantic story when you really look at it. And he was the reason I got into business. I saw Desi on TV, and I thought, hey, he's Latino. I could do that.
And
that's
he
how it
wasn't. I
started.
don't see. I hope people don't think he was a buffoon because he wasn't. I thought he
He
was.
wasn't. He was-
because,
he invented
because
the
they
three
were
cameras.
both as goofy on the show. There was everybody was, and I think he ran the family. He ran the house. He became a star. And
She herself said that Desi Arnaz was the greatest producer she ever knew. And he's the one who came up with the 3-camera sitcom that we enjoy now today.
do you know why he did it? You know where it came from?
Because he wanted to stay in town.
Well, no, the sitcom. You know why he wanted the audience? Because when they went on, he had had
they
a
went on
nightclub
road.
on.
Yeah, they
he
went
had
on
had
road.
a nightclub act.
Yeah.
And he had this nightclub act, and he sang. So he brought these sketches in between of his wife trying to get into the show.
Yeah. And Lucy and him toured with the show.
Exactly, and they did it in front of an audience, and he saw how different they reacted as actors
Yeah.
with the audience. So, it was sort of vaudeville, Broadway, everything that a sitcom is.
Yeah, what he did was he did that. He wanted it to be filmed because he wanted a great. Lucille Ball came from the film world, and he wanted Lucille.
Oh, there's a picture of Desi.
Oh, look at Desi.
So handsome.
Yeah, but he wanted Lucille to have a film world. So
And the only reason they had to do that, honestly, go on tour and show how successful is because he was Latin.
Yeah, they
They
didn't.
wouldn't. There
they
was
didn't
no
want,
way that a Latin woman and a white guy
Well, that's
could
what he
be
said.
married.
They go.
A white woman
We
could.
can't have this. No one. And he
Latin
said,
man and a white woman.
I've been married to her for 13 years. It seems to be working. Why not? Why can't I? Because it was based on a radio show. I think it was My Favorite Husband or
Right.
something like that. And that's where it came from.
But it really wasn't.
He used his own money. Did you know about that?
Yeah.
He paid, I think, what equivalent today would be a massive amount to get a great cinematographer. And guess what? It became reruns.
Let's take a look at some of your work. Let's put a couple pictures on and see some of the things you did. You tell me what this is.
Ah.
This is you with Louis Guzman.
Yeah, Luis Guzman. I have a show
Who
called...
is my favorite,
He
one of my
is
favorite actors.
amazing actor. He's I do a program called Latino Thought Makers at Oxnard College. I invite celebrity friends on stage, and I have a lot of different ones. And we do a live show, and Luis was one of my guests. I've had Edward James Olmos, Isai Morales. The list goes on.
I love Isai. You know, he's my go-to guy.
Oh, he's great.
But he's my go-to guy.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
No, he's my go-to guy.
Really?
I love him.
Yeah, no,
I would marry him.
He's the best.
Give me another. Oh, no,
Oh.
what was this?
Oh, that was me. I did a sketch about Donald Trump.
Where did you do this?
I did a little clip called Najera in America. It's me being a TV news anchor.
Uh-huh.
And it's me interviewing Donald Trump. And it was during the time, because I was against Donald Trump from the minute the man walked on stage. I just knew this guy was bad news. And, but I wanted it was him talking about I had a guy, Jason, an impersonator, one of the best, get up there and do the impersonation. So we did it that way. It was a phone and...
But nobody's better than Alec Baldwin, I'm telling you right now.
No, Alec Baldwin's amazing.
Wrong!
Yeah.
Wrong!
Yeah, moving. Yeah, they should go away. You know, Alec Baldwin is brilliant in so many ways, and he's had such a fascinating career.
It really tells you something, you know. Just
He's gone from the pretty guy, Alec Baldwin,
But
to
he
the actor.
was.
He was, extremely. But
And he
he's
still is a good,
he's
handsome man.
matured into this all-around performer. Yeah, I think he's been more on Saturday Night Live more than anyone else.
Well, now.
Yeah. So he's done...
Steve Martin was before held the record.
But now he's beat him. So I'm a big fan of Alec Baldwin.
Let's say another one. Oh, that's Isai.
That's Isai
Who's the-
Morales.
I don't know who
That's Isai on stage. We're talking. That's Cristel Alonso.
Oh, okay.
It was a show with
Krista.
Krista Alonso. I was called Krista Alonso.
Is that the comedian that had her own show?
Yeah.
Cristela?
Cristela.
Oh,
She had her
yeah.
own show. I worked with her as a writer, and
See, her show, I'm sure she's a very talented gal and very funny, but I just thought it was basically the same thing that we had been doing, and people needed to see something new.
I think she needed, East Los High has really worked because it had a huge writing staff of people of color.
Tell us
Latino.
about that.
Well, the show I've been doing for the last 2 seasons is East Los High. It's a big hit on Hulu. It's
Right.
great. Carlos Portugal is the one who created it. He's a wonderful co-created. He's a great executive producer and a great writer. Probably one of the best times I've had in this business is working with him.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very different. He's Cuban and
You
gay.
directed?
No, I wrote it. I was one of the writers, and we had a small staff. But we had an African American woman on the staff. We
And
had
he's Cuban and gay?
Cuban and gay. And
What's his name again?
Carlos Portugal. I don't think I'm saying anything out of. I'm sure he's fine with me saying that to the world because he's quite proud of who he is.
I'm
And,
only gay on the weekends, so it
yeah,
doesn't matter. I
I'm
can't be
gay
gay every
maybe when I watch a musical, and
Yeah.
then I enjoy it, and that brings out that side of me. But
I can't be gay every day anymore. It's too much,
it's
too
tiring.
tiring.
It is.
Too
You
much.
got to work out all the time. You got to look great in fashion.
Mm.
You got to have a girl that's your best friend. I mean,
I'm dating a Latin guy, so he
Okay,
looks a
there he
little
is.
like Isai Morales. So I won't tell
does
you
he
his
look
name.
like Isai Morales?
A little, because I think I love.
Do you play La Bamba? When,
It doesn't matter.
doesn't
He's
matter.
bad, and I'm the good one.
Yeah, well, see,
He
look
chases
at you.
me, and then he
Look at you.
cheats on me, and I get upset and I
You
cry.
get upset, and then you guys
Cry,
make up.
and then we have really sex. Yeah.
That image is in my head now.
Show us another one. I have to think about you and your wife forever and those kids every time you bring
I know.
them
Every
around.
time you see me.
Show us another bit.
Uh,
George Lopez.
Yeah, George and I did a pilot about 2 years ago. We were pitching a pilot.
He's got a series now coming with all these comedians. I love the concept of it. Have you
Yeah.
heard about it? Comedians on the road.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they all play themselves.
Well, it's nothing more funnier than comedians on the road. It's off stage is they're funnier.
Who's the comedians they're using? It's him and who? Do you know?
I'm sure there'll be plenty of people. I
I
don't
have
know
a
this
couple
one.
friends who have done the show.
Yeah, I mean, I like George. George was great. We developed a show. It didn't get picked up. They chose Border Town over us. We pitched it around. It was about a Mexican-American border patrolman on the border called Buford Gomez. He was a redneck border patrol agent.
Oh, I heard about. That's your character.
That was my character, yeah. And
Damn it!
I know, it's so close.
No, you know why? Because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
I should have done it.
Yeah.
I
And you
should've
cannot,
done it.
and you push somebody who's not it, and it's not
as-
real.
yeah, maybe
And
that was it.
That's the exact reason. I can
Yeah.
tell you right now, because and you probably, there was a little piece of you that went, oh God, I'm giving him away.
There was a little piece of me that said that. The other part of it is
Got to
there's,
feed my family.
well, there's the producer side of me or the other type.
I don't care.
I know. Because the truth is, I love acting.
You gave it away.
I gave it away.
And you didn't want to. That's why I didn't have. So it's saving it for you. Someone else. Oh, James Edward Olmos.
James Olmos. That was at Latino Thought Makers. We were doing that show up in Drew. No, it was.
Now, when you sit down, you have to open your jacket.
I
And
know.
you won't get that crease.
I did. Good point. Thank you. This is
Yeah.
why I need you around me.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I got it from the movie From a Straight Man, from James L. Brooks, because in the movie
Just when you
Broadcast
sit
News,
down,
he
you-
sits on the back of his jacket, and he opens it up, and then he closes it, and there's all sorts of talk show rules on what you're supposed to do with the jacket. If you're going to host a show, you have to understand the sport code
I
rules.
will remember that.
Next.
This is my show, Latino Logs, is on Broadway. That's Eugenio Derbez. I don't know. That's a
God,
horrible.
such a pretty picture of these people.
Yeah, there's Renee Lavani, who's People Magazine 50 Most Beautiful. Shirley Rumerick, Puerto Rican.
Was Cheech Marin in it?
Cheech Marin directed it.
Oh, okay.
He directed it on Broadway. And there's me,
I
tired.
almost
and
saw
exhausted.
that show on Broadway because I'd seen it before.
Yeah.
But I saw it here, but I almost got to see it on Broadway, but I was not able to do it because I had gotten a spot somewhere that night.
Yeah,
It's a terrible life of a comedian.
Yeah, no, it's been, and Eugenio Derbez is doing extremely well. He's got one of the biggest, highest-grossing films. He's a good guy.
What's he in?
He did Instructions Not Included, the highest-grossing Spanish-language film.
Wow.
And great guy.
Next.
There's me doing Buford Gomez. There's Tony Plana from.
So I'm in Sundance with Birth of a Nation. I'm sitting in a restaurant with Ida Rodriguez. Do you know Ida?
Yeah, I know Ida.
We're having lunch or breakfast, and next is, I say, that's Tony Plana. I mean, from Ugly Betty. And he goes, oh my God, you're the guy that was in Birth. And he's saying this to me. That was my first fan posting of my work in Birth of a Nation. And oh God, you was and you know he's the character actor that I want to be.
He's a major. We played opposite each other at La Jolla Playhouse in Figaro Gets Divorced years ago, and it was Time Magazine 10 Best Production of the Year. And we were both leads, and I got the role, and it was going to be Joe Morton was going to play the other role.
Oh wow, from
And,
Scandal.
Yeah, and Joe had to step out, and Tony took over the role. But the way I got the role is I pretended to be Tony Plana, and I was just acted as Tony Plana, so it's his character. I was a character of Tony
I
Plana.
pretend to be B. Arthur all the time.
It's a great thing. So then all of a sudden they cast him, and it's like, I go, okay, this is going to be really interesting. I'm playing you, and he doesn't know it. And so I was doing my version of Tony Plana.
Exactly.
And so I was like, Tony Plana.
People don't realize
serious.
that, though, that we do these weird things as an actor. In
Yeah.
Birth of a Nation, I pretended, that I was this bear, and I'd walk around like this, and I'd talk, and I'd say my stuff, and be who I am. And I'd just be, and to me it was, I was being a bear, and I was pulling me around, and I had a little string around my penis that pulled me everywhere.
So
And that's the way I played the part.
you had a string around the bear?
No, about my penis.
Oh, with the
I know
penis.
that's a weird thing to say, but I thought I wanted to walk with that part of my body.
So you're thrust, your crotch is kind of thrust out.
Yeah, but you know how they
have
just
leaning
to
back.
show off.
Yeah, doing that whole kind of bear thing.
Just sort of showing off. The
See,
bear.
I want to play a
Put the camera
Southern
up,
man.
Yeah. It's like,
Come
here
on,
we
look,
are,
here we are.
So and people don't realize as actors is, even though I'm not being a literal bear, but I'm just using. It's a creativity.
You
that's
figure out what gets you in that place. Which I tell my little son that he's just started acting, and I told him, I said, look, you've got to. I said, be a kid. I go, never want you to lose being a child, and that's the truth for
He
every
wants
actor.
to act. Oh God, I'm so
Well,
sorry.
he's smart about it. He just wants it for the money.
I'm so
He's-
sorry.
He had 4 auditions. He got 4 roles.
What?
And he made he's the new Gamefly commercial.
Oh, so this is really terrible.
This is, and I don't know how to tell him that this is acting is a lot of rejection, and he blew it because now he's not getting rejected, and it's causing problems, and so But he's a great kid. All my kids are.
I'm so sorry for
I
him.
know.
Because there's no way to go but down.
He's too.
You know what I mean?
He's too smart of a businessman. If he sits there, because he's going to use acting as a stepping stone to all sorts of things. So he's a very smart kid.
Oh God. So tell us about, tell me about Almost White, which is your book, because I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And you wrote these stories about it. What's about different people
what
and
happened
things, experiences that you worked on?
Yeah, with my experiences in Hollywood was, of being Latino. Was,
Oh, look, everybody, you can buy this
can
for
buy it.
$10.99 on a Kindle.
Kindle or paperback. Or you can go to my site, www.ricknajera.com, and I have it up there too. But you know what's great about it? It's gotten most inspirational book. It's gotten a lot of awards. The way it came about is Tavis Smiley, who I'm a big fan of. He had a publishing company, Hay House Books, do a set of his books. And he said, here's another author you guys should look at. And they said, yeah, sure, we'd love to. They sent a prospectus on me and a chapter of what I would write, and they gave me a development deal to write a book. So I've almost forgotten about it, and I didn't know what to write about. I was like, once you get it something, you go, oh, now what am I going to do? So I ended up in a coma. I was in a...
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, remember? I don't know if you heard about it.
No, I did.
So I nearly died. I was in a coma
called
for
you,
2
but
weeks.
you didn't call me back.
And I was in a coma. I didn't... That's
I
what
waited.
Happened. I know.
That's what happened. Is I actually
blame
called you to do my other show.
Yeah, I blame it on the coma. It's a
Yeah, but
beautiful
I
thing to have a
called you
coma.
to do my show.
Oh,
Just to let you know.
Forgive me. I was busy in
Didn't
REM
matter.
sleep.
Didn't matter.
Whatever. So they said, Rick, we haven't got a hold of you for 2 weeks. You've been gone. And I said, oh, I was in a coma. And I explained it to him. And they said, well, you're about to speak at the World Bank. Can you do that? And I go, oh, yeah, I'll be well. I'll speak at the World Bank. Oh, I'll be okay. And they said, what are you writing about with your book? I said, I don't know. He said, why don't you just write about your life? And that was my life. And I said, okay, I'll write exactly about my life. And I didn't.
Tell me one of the chapters that you thought were that stands out to you.
Well, I mean, even how the book starts. It starts off,
I've read it,
Oh, you read it? Okay,
Yeah.
I think what stands out for me is the history part of the book, where I talk about history. I talk about Cortez and Malinche, and I talk about really deep historical things, done a lot of times a comedic way, but people are always surprised how much I know about history. I mean, I was having breakfast today with Everett James Olmos and my wife.
Ah,
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's my kid's
I
godfather.
love him.
God, I'm starting to sound
He
like
knows
a
me.
Hollywood guy. I was having breakfast. Yeah, so
I love him.
we
He
were talking
knows
about the Byzantine Empire or something like that. And he looked at me like so surprised, but I'm a big student of history and politics. I love those things. So the book was really kind of about my life, and it was surprising me how parts of the book people really loved. I talked about faith at one point with my son. We were crossing a river, and being in a coma and being so close to death.
How did you get in a coma?
I had a problem that no one really recognized. It was called an encephalocele. It's where you are leaking brain fluid, and no one could.
How does this happen?
It happens from either from birth or it happens from an accident. And I had both. I had both problems. So I was actually they could get right to my brain, and I somehow had some sort of high fever one night. I slipped into I basically the fever went to like 106 or whatever. No one was home, and I had a convulsion. When you get certain heat, your brain just shuts down.
And you were sleeping for 2 weeks?
No, what happened was I hit my head, and so you can see the scar here. That's now I can never be a male model again. I hit my head. Sad. I know. It's just now it's all Speedo and just runway. But when I hit my head, I bled out, and they found me in a pool of blood in my room.
Your
And
wife?
My wife did.
Oh, that must have been frightening for her.
I was thinking about apologizing her today, because she had to see that image, and my head was, it looked like someone had come in with a bat and clubbed me in my bed.
God, so if you ever do anything wrong, look, I could be honey, look, I almost died in this room.
Well, yeah,
You have to have sex with me.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's called pity coma sex.
Yes.
Right now we have kids, so I have to be very careful when we have sex. I call it Anne Frank sex. We're really quiet. Shh, don't say anything. Quiet. Shut the door. Put a chair there. Don't do it. Don't. Shh, are you turned on? That kind of thing. But it was traumatic. And once they found out, they still didn't know what problem I had.
So what happened to you when you were sleeping?
While I was sleeping,
Did you go? Do you remember any?
I remember floating on my body. I remember friends visiting me, and I could see them. And
I always think, is that real, or is that because we saw that movie with Warren Beatty, Can Heaven Wait?
I loved Heaven Can Wait, but no.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is real and what is not
What was real is my friend, Raphael Agustin, a great guy who works with me, was outside the hallway with a book reading, and he had a backpack. And so when I came back, I described that to him. I said, oh, yeah, you were there. And he goes, how would you know that? I was outside. So that was some of the clues, and I believe somehow we do leave our bodies and things like that. But the pain kept me in my body. I came back about 2 weeks later. I was in and out of comas. But you know what's funny about it is no one knew I was a
Can
comedian.
you lose weight from the coma?
I lost about 30 pounds.
I wish that would happen to me.
So I want to go into a coma just to lose weight now.
Yeah.
It's the best diet possible. It was
That's
really.
my question always.
Yeah. So what happened was, they said to me when I first came out of the coma, they had an incubator, which is a thing in your throat, so you can't speak. They removed the intubator, or is how it's called, and a nurse came in, and I said, "Hey, come here. And she was.
You sound like Marlon Brando, the Godfather.
Yeah, it was. Come here.
The oranges.
This I cannot do. So she comes up to me, and I go, "Do you know how to get a man out of a coma? You give him Viagra. That'll get him up." And then I passed out again. So that was the first words out
Is
of
that
my
a joke
mouth.
from your act?
It wasn't a joke. It was like a.
Did you ask her to write it down?
Yeah, I was like, write that down. No, I was more shocked because my humor is a little bit more sophisticated than that.
Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with Rick Najera, out of a coma, doing great. Go buy his book, Latino Logs and
Almost White.
and Almost White.
Confessions of a Latino Hollywood.
And we'll be back in just a second. Viagra, straight beat.
Hi, I'm Rob Schneider. Hey guys, what's up? This is Matt McAndrew. Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Oakley. And I'm Corey Cool.
Hi, I'm Martha Madison.
This is Slink Johnson, a.k.a. Black Jesus, b.k.a. Godzilla Lungs.
Hello, I'm Eric Roberts.
Yeah, what's up? This is Craig Wayans.
Hi, this is Brad Williams, and as you can tell, I have never gotten high.
Speedy Don.
And I am the fabulous Stephen King.
What's good? It's your boy Marcus Park, man. We keeping it lit.
I'm Money B.
What's up, y'all? This is Crazy Bone in the building.
And it's your boy Street Symphony. And you're watching.
Do you have an amazing Lemmy story for me?
An amazing one? Everything he does is amazing. The guy puts snarl in the metal. Come on.
Big heart. Love that guy. That guy was the real deal in every way. Lemmy was just a class act. So thank you, Lemmy.
No way I was gonna miss tonight's tribute to the Lemmeister, man.
Let's hear for Lemmy!
Scream for Lemmy!
Can you feel the energy in the room? Lemmy lives on.
God bless Lemmy, and he will live on through all of us.
To the spirit and memory of Lemmy!
Long live Lemmy, my brothers and sisters.
And we're back. I'm looking up at myself. That's what I do. And people always say, why? I get loads of emails saying, why do you always look up? Because this is where the viewer is.
You say you're praying.
Yes. So I'm so excited about you getting this award. I want to come. You better invite me and
You're
tell me
invited.
everything where it is. Your kids are acting. You've got jobs. You have a new movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, when I went to see Nothing Like the Holidays, I thought, which I just loved, because it was one of those wonderfully, to me, it could be any family.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. Not that having a Latin family isn't a bad thing, but I think that for you now, the next thing is to integrate yourself into society, just being who you are.
I think it's happening. I mean, I think in the beginning I played.
It's just sex is what?
Well, that's a film that based on a play called It's Just Sex, and I just finished writing that with Rick Shaw, great writer, and he has the Secret Rose Garden Theater. These, so many good people that I get an opportunity to work with. But that film is a comedy. That's a body comedy. Nothing Like the Holidays was a really warm family movie. It's based on the life of my father and how he died. He died. I didn't know he was dying, and so it kind of was about that. So there's a sadness to it, but it's also a Christmas story, which is about hope. So I really liked it. I think I want to write another Christmas film. I love writing Christmas films.
Why don't you write a Christmas movie about Jews?
I could. I've just been to Israel. I happen to.
What were you doing in Israel?
The Israeli government invited me. They felt as a.
And I'm Jewish, and they've never asked.
You can get invited.
Because they hate themselves.
You can go. Well, yeah, it's done. It's a good point.
Why was I never invited?
Yeah, I don't know why you.
Why were you invited?
You have a birthright. You can go to Israel.
Oh, please! And then they won't let me out. I'll have to stay there, and I'll have to wear some sort of.
It's not a bad place. The only I couldn't be Orthodox because I just don't like the fashion.
Well, you notice that the men all dress like it's the turn of the century, and the women dress like it's the '80s.
Yeah,
it's strange that they're not in the same.
It is strange. It's like the only thing is like you going, it's sad. Hugo Boss did the costumes for the Nazis. That's to me is the weirdest thing.
Did he really?
Hugo Boss. Yeah, I was thinking it was Hugo Boss Company or something like that.
Oh my God!
If you look at the Nazi designs, they're really sharp, very fashionable.
Oh, very hot.
Very good.
Hot.
So that's what I'm saying. There's certain people you should really handle your fashion, and I love the Orthodox people because in Israel, I went to Shabbat. I experienced that.
You never gone to a Shabbat dinner?
No.
Just a Friday night dinner. They say some prayers. It's in a different language. No one understands.
The best time.
And then you eat.
You drink wine, which is great. You drink a lot of wine. You get to eat. You have your friends with you. You sing some songs. It's beautiful. You turn off everything. No meal. No internet. Nothing. And you don't talk business. You just go there to fellowship with your friends. And I think it's a beautiful thing about building community. And I think that's the problem in America. We're not building community enough. And that's including everyone at your table. You're always welcome at my table.
Oh, thank you. So why did you get invited?
Because they felt that, I do a lot of journalistic stuff. I write a lot of op-eds. I do a lot of different things. And they felt that they wanted to show me their side of the story of Israel. And I'm glad I went.
Did you write something about Israel?
I'm going to.
What are you going to write?
Probably in my next book, Najera in America. I'll do a whole chapter about what my experience was in Israel. It was very, a great experience. It really was life-changing. I mean,
you went with your wife, or you?
Went with my wife. I insisted. They invited me, and I was like, "You got to take my wife." And they said, "Okay." They took them a while.
She watched me die in a pool of blood.
She did.
You got to have sex someplace else other than that room.
Yeah, well, she's a journalist herself. She has a blog called The Mexico Report, which is positive stories about Mexico, and she's an expert on Mexico. She worked for the Mexico Tourist Bureau. She's done a lot of work. So and she produces my show, Latino Thought Makers. I couldn't do a lot of stuff I do without her. I mean, she truly is a partner in every respect.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long have you been together?
13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. For Hollywood, that's 140 years.
Yes.
Yeah, in Hollywood years.
When are you getting a new wife?
I don't know. She may try to replace me, but luckily I've been keep bringing home the money and doing good, and she won't replace me quite yet.
And how old are the kids? What are they?
Kids are 13, 11, 10. I'm sorry, man. I got 3. I got to get money for them. Yeah, I got paid. It's like I'm working for them 24/7. But they're truly. I never thought I'd have children. I never thought I'd get married.
Really?
Yeah, I was a Hollywood bachelor type guy. And
how did you meet her?
We met at a New Year's Eve party. And I'd never been alone at a New Year's Eve party. I always had a date, and she didn't have a date.
Really?
We both were alone at this New Year's Eve
That's why I don't like
party.
the Jewish New Year's, because I don't want to have
Yom Kippur?
I don't want to have that's afterwards.
Oh, afterwards.
That's the sad part of it.
Which
I don't.
was the
Rosh
happy one? Rosh Hashanah,
Hashanah is the New Year's, and I don't want to not have a date twice a year. It's just too much. For
Yeah,
me.
that's tough.
It's too much.
Yeah, so I went. And she was there, and I looked at her. She's a beautiful woman, and walked up to her, and I had a lot of courage at that time, and asked her out. And she says, "Now I have a boyfriend. I can't go out." I said, "Well, I just make it business. You're a publicist. I'm an actor, writer, all that stuff. I'd just like to talk to you about business. That's all it is. It's innocent. It's nothing. It's innocent."
You're getting to look a lot more like Marlon Brando as you get older.
As I get older?
Innocent.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, am I right, guys? There's a whole thing happening.
Marlon Brando thing.
I'll make you an offer.
On the wedding of my daughter, I can offer no one, refuse anyone. But I met her, and we were married within, I think, 6 months. So, yeah, 6 months.
What'd you do? Who was the other guy?
He was a big-time millionaire guy, which
she's big mistake.
Yeah, I thought so at the time.
I don't know why she can't just marry him and have an affair with you.
I could have been the pool boy, just to be a stereotypical, or gardener. But she met me, and while I was with her, and she went back. We went back to her home, and she got on the phone with him and called him, said, "I think I've met someone I should be with, and I have to break up with you."
Wow!
Right in front of me. So I'm like, "You just burnt the ships."
After the first date?
First date.
Oh God! I usually have them going, I'm really not interested in a relationship, but I'll have sex with you.
Yeah, see, that's beautiful. Those are stories.
That's my life.
I didn't get that. Unfortunately, I had to be married for 13 years to get all that stuff. But
Wow.
I'm happy. It hit me the other day. I was laying in bed, and my wife was puttering around, and I thought, wow, this woman's so beautiful, and my kids, and it's just a moment. And coming out of a coma and all that stuff I went through the last 2 years.
You looked at the place where the blood was.
Oh yeah, I was.
It's right in your bedroom, right?
No, I changed the bed. It's a different bed. It's all different.
But it's still the bedroom.
Yeah, still the
So
bedroom.
you know that where that spot is.
Yeah, I know where it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that weird to be just sleeping there all?
I don't remember. I was in a coma until people remind me. So they walk up to me and they'll be like, "Oh my God, Rick, you're okay," and I go, "Yeah, I was in a coma."
Oh God.
But yeah, we've been married, and so here I have this moment in my bed, and I'm thinking about her and how beautiful she is. And then sure enough, she walks on over. Oh, I hear her open the bathroom door, and my son had just been in there, and she's like, "Oh my God, Julian, you have to flush the toilet." So I'm thinking she's just totally disgusted, and I'm like, "Well, there goes any chance at sex tonight." But that's life, That's a beautiful.
It isn't
thing.
with gay men. No, we don't care.
You don't care, yeah.
No.
See, women get grossed out, and it takes a while to get them back.
Yeah, we don't have that.
No problem.
Come on.
Yeah, nah. So
yeah, and then we watch The Walking Dead.
Women different. You got to really make sure that they feel loved, admired, and treated very well. I've learned that over the years.
Yeah, it's hard. I'm so sorry for you.
But I'm happy.
So how can people get a hold of you?
Just check out my site, ricknajera.com, or you can face...
It's Najera.
Najera, R-I-C-K, Najera.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. You check out my site.
Look at Kay showing off.
There's me with all the people at CBS, the good folks at CBS. All those actors seem to work, so I'm really happy. 2 are Mad TV from that group. You can check out my book. Definitely get the book. I really think people like it. It's inspirational. It's me overcoming
It's lovely.
homeless.
I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
I just loved it.
Thank you. And then, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Rick Najera.
And they can get all that from going to your site.
Yes, get all that from going to the site. And I love it when people really reach out to me. And I speak all over the country. I do a lot of public speaking. I spoke at the World Bank. I spoke at Harvard, Stanford. I've spoken everywhere. I'm going to be in Baylor October 26th, speaking there. And Latino Thought Makers, check that out, because it's next one's December 7th. It should be a good show. So I'm always doing something. I gotta have 3 kids. You're absolutely right. I gotta feed 3 people.
Well, thank you so much for being on my show.
Jason, always a pleasure. You're the best, and I admire you, and that's why I'm here.
Everyone, take care. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
He's absolutely Jason, he's absolutely gay. He'll absolutely brighten up the darkest rainy day. He's funny and loves movies, he's smart and